Alright, folks, so I've got a bit of a breaking story here for you guys. So, a big thing that a lot of people were saying when we would talk about how Bernie lost the SDE count, the state delegate equivalent count, because he was cheated was, oh, bro, chill out, bro. They're tied in national delegates, bro, at 11 apiece. And so that was the idea, was, oh, they're tied at national delegates, they each have 11. Now that has been changed. The final national delegate count, which has been allocated by the IDP, one of the most corrupt organizations on the face of the planet, all right, has Buttigieg at 14 and Bernie at 12. So that means Buttigieg has a 2-delegate lead over Bernie Sanders. Now, what's really crazy to me is, I mean, if you look at these numbers, how on earth it is that they come up with a 2-delegate lead from a less than 3 SDE deficit? I don't know where the math comes. I don't know how they do this. Honestly, I'm kind of convinced that they're just kind of just making shit up on the fly at this point. I don't even know how that makes sense. But as you guys are all aware, I explained to you guys, bro, there are a litany of different errors that exist in the data where Bernie would get his SDEs taken and given to someone else like Elizabeth Warren, sometimes to Buttigieg. So some of these are net losses for Buttigieg, where it's like Buttigieg gained an extra 0.27, which was supposed to go to Bernie Sanders. So that's a swing, right? Because you take from Pete and you give to Bernie. There's one of those. And so there are a lot of areas like this. A ton of these that the Bernie campaign found. They sent out an email. The campaign sent out an email showcasing all of the different ones. And the IDP chair literally said, we're not going to go in and fix these numbers even if they're incorrect because they're asserting their political opinion or people on the outside are changing the results, which is laughably hilarious. But here is what Faiz Shakir, the campaign manager of Bernie Sanders' campaign, has declared.
Nearly a week-long delay, Pete Buttigieg is getting the most delegates, and Sanders comes in second. This is a report just out from the Iowa Democratic Party. Let's get right now to get some reaction on this from Faiz Shakir. He's the campaign manager for the Bernie Sanders 2020 presidential campaign. Faiz, thank you so much for joining us, especially on a short notice. The first question I have for you, Faiz, is
thank you,
we're in a situation now where your campaign still has the ability to ask for a canvass of even specific precincts, as I understand it, by 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. Do you plan on doing that given the results that we saw here tonight?
Yes, Ryan, you can expect us to be asking the Iowa Democratic Party for a recanvass of the discrepancies that we have identified and found for them. We will be searching for and identifying even more. It's been handled incompetently from our perspective, and we will be asking them to take a look at some of these obvious discrepancies that have affected our count. And I think after it's all said and done, it should be the case that we have the same number of national delegates as Pete Buttigieg. So we'll see how this plays out, Ryan, but you can expect some action from the Sanders campaign tomorrow.
I think it's funny he calls him Faz. But anyways, so they're going to request a recanvass specifically in all of the different areas in which there were SDE errors. And so these national delegate numbers need to be corrected. A, they need to be corrected because obviously it's giving a delegate lead to Pete Buttigieg. But B, because of the media narrative that comes with him winning and having more delegates. And so they need to change that. But honestly, dude, this is a really horrible thing for the Democratic Party because you're losing Bernie voters by the millisecond, okay? Because when we see this and we see that you're rigging the election against us, how are we going to let you're going to rig the election against us and then tell us, dude, you have to vote for the candidate, the Democratic nominee, because otherwise Trump is going to win. It's like, dude, you just cheated us out of a fair election, right? So they're completely cheating, and it's absolutely insane. And people are really running out of attention to keep to this. I know it's tough to do, but man, it is getting crazy out there.